Ambulance, Randy Thomas. Both of you gentlemen have been involved with these conversations here in Indiana in the Morning for a long time. And
Yes, we have.
BJ ran into you in the grocery store a couple of months ago, and I said, we got to get you back in there.
Thanks.
And then earlier this week, I realized, oh, man, I didn't even contact him after I said I got to get him back in here. So here you are.
Thank you.
One of the things that has been an ongoing theme of all of our conversations has been the struggle for Citizens Ambulance, not only to maintain membership, but to deal with some of the pressures in the emergency services field that really make it such a struggle. And BJ, that struggle goes on.
It does. But yeah, I would prefer this morning to discuss the positive things that are occurring as a result of this. First of all, Citizens Ambulance Service, that wonderful nonprofit that has existed in this community since 1964, and had the charge and mission to provide emergency medical services for a large group of people. Of course, that expanded in 1975 from a historical perspective to a countywide system, which was what we see today, an 1,100 square mile service area, almost 100,000 people in which we serve. It's a huge responsibility. Misconceptions are that that is a supported organization, meaning it is funded by tax dollars that provides that service. That is not correct by any stretch of the imagination. We are here because of a very, very sound group of board members who have vision, who understand what it takes to complete the mission of the organization. And we have been supported by some wonderful folks. Last year, 6,300 members that decided to help us in our mission. The rest of that came from Citizens Ambulance Service and willingly provided that service to the community.
Mm-hmm. That's an amazing scope. I mean, the breadth of your coverage. And now it's not just Indiana County. You reach into neighboring counties as well.
That's correct.
We just heard a week or so ago that in the Seward, New Florence area, there's another ambulance service that closed there. It is a struggle to keep the doors open, keep the ambulances running, keep them staffed, Randy. Yeah. But it's a struggle that Citizens Ambulance very willingly takes on because you are such a vital part of this county, of this region.
Yeah, we're here, 24/7, 365, and we have to staff for 24/7, 365. People don't schedule their emergencies for us, unfortunately. I don't come in the morning and say, okay, we're going to have, 24 emergencies are going to be located in this area. It just doesn't happen that way. Mm-hmm. So the biggest challenge we truly face is our cost of readiness. Yeah. We have to be ready whether we get one 911 dispatch in a day or we get 40. And that creates an issue because you have to have that preparedness. To give you an example, in 2017, we answered almost 9,200 911 dispatches.
Wow.
Okay. 2018, that dropped to almost 8,100. Almost 1,100 just vanished. Mm-hmm. A lot of that was due to some of the insurance regulations, some of that from skilled nursing and that. But the problem is we still staffed as if we were going to respond to 9,000 emergencies.
You have to.
You have to.
Yeah.
But when you lose 1,100 emergencies, that also costs us our revenue, our program service dollars, our average reimbursables. That amounts to upwards of $300,000 in unrealized income we didn't make that we staffed for. So that creates a huge issue also.
Can I give you a personal perspective
to
that, what he just said?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people say, if we would ask you, what is EMS? The perception is, oh my goodness gracious, look at that. Someone is really hurt. Quick, call 911. Mm-hmm. Then what happens? An ambulance shows up.
Yeah.
Or a fire truck comes or a policeman comes. Mm-hmm. It is a public service that is assumed will be there. And rightfully so.
Yeah.
But we've got to be able to support that as a public. Mm-hmm. Of what he just talked about, just put it into a real personal context. How about the fact that of those patients, over 9,000 people that we talked about, 624 of those folks were under age 21.
Wow.
236 were children. under the age of 13. How about 412 people either suffering a cardiac arrest or some type of cardiac situation or STEMI, stroke? How about 548 people minimally suffering injuries as a result of vehicle accidents?
Amazing. Just amazing how many different incidents that people, as you say, BJ, they just don't think
They don't.
that here's, as Randy says, you got to be ready. You got to be
Yeah.
there. One of the things that amazes me is you'll be driving along a highway. You'll see a citizens ambulance unit sitting along the highway in a pull-off area, and you think to yourself, well, why is it sitting there? Well, it's rotating because somebody got called out of this station, and so somebody has to provide coverage while they're out, and so you pull one from here, you put it at the halfway point, and you're ready to go, Randy.
That's correct. You know, we do a lot of system status management. Obviously, we're doing more with less crude staffing right now. We have to adjust to that, so we have to find different ways of providing that coverage. And we take a look at numbers. You look at where the highest probabilities are, and we provide that staffing there. You know, and that's done by a dedicated group of around 120 paramedics, EMTs, pre-hospital RNs we have. And I can't say enough about that. Right. The compassionate care that they provide on a daily basis is the root of why we're here. And everybody deserves that. And I'm very proud of the personnel that work for Citizens.
So we've established how vital Citizens Ambulance is for this entire region, geographically, and when you get into the actual things and the causes for the need for an ambulance service. The question becomes, BJ, what do we do? How do we help Citizens Ambulance climb the mountain?
Well, first of all, you use the terminology we. Understand that it's a vital. Well, that's 4 of us in this room that know that. But the problem is it doesn't appear as though everybody agrees with that or really wants to engage in the conversation, or more importantly, think about the value, or more importantly, the vital nature of all public service, EMS being one of them. So we have to wrap our arms around that, okay? Now, I must tell you that I cannot imagine, as you referenced the other ambulance services going out of business and a public being there with no solutions available.
Yeah.
None. I've seen that in my involvement both regionally and across the state. But what I'm trying to tell you is there are resources here with Citizens Ambulance Service. We're not running around throwing our arms up saying, what are we going to do next? We know exactly what we're going to do next. We're consistently educating the public on what's going on. We've been very truthful and supportive of municipal and government leaders who, by the way, talk with us, and we keep them informed and apprised of what's happening and what we need to do. And what I'm saying is there are partnerships that have been built here. Indiana Regional Medical Center and Citizens Ambulance Service are saving lives. There's no doubt in my mind. We see people walking out of that hospital that in years past would have never, ever walked out. It's a wonderful experience to see. You've got quality, trained, professional people that we're blessed with, EMTs and paramedics, some of the best in the business. It's easy for me to say that, right? But I'm telling you, they are. Trained with our other partnership at IUP, at our West Pike complex.
Yeah.
That complex, by the way, has reached 27 counties in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania as far as educating EMTs and paramedics.
That's amazing.
That's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Partnerships with government officials, our local officials, commissioners, all the way up to our new senator and our new representative. These folks have been supportive of this organization for decades and continue to keep abreast of what's going on, and we have that commitment. And I'm enlightened with the new commissioners coming in. I believe, without a doubt, we're going to have genuine support from all the 2 new ones, and of course, Ms. Hess, who has been there before. So those partnerships are absolutely critical. And what my point is, I cannot imagine going through this crisis without having this resource available to us. What do we need to do? Short term. Let's get on board with a membership. If we double our membership, that will sustain us through 2020. And things will, it's not the absolute solution, but it gets us to the next step. The next step long term is to establish some sense or form of subsidy on a consistent basis. Whether you want to call it tax dollars or whatever, at some point, that sustainable income to EMS, fire, and police is going to have to come.
Yeah.
So, short term, jump on board. Currently, we have 4,900 members. Our target, we want to double what we had last year. So we need 13,000.
Wow.
We've only received 255 new members this year. We need 6,500 new members.
A lot of people are rolling the dice and saying, well, maybe in 2019, 2020, I'm not going to need an ambulance, so I'll wait. Don't do that. Don't roll those dice. Those odds pile up against you, and they do so quickly. All right, gentlemen, we are out of time. We got to continue this conversation, though. You'll
do.
come back and you'll be with us again.
If you'll have us.
We certainly
One
will.
of those partnerships is media, both the Gazette and you folks. Thanks for helping us tell the story.
Yeah.
It is our pleasure, and it is such a vital need for Indiana County. Cannot let it go by. All right, it's the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160, 101.1 FM. Fox News up next, top of